So my socials have grown to over 50k across channels, and I don't use Premiere Pro, I don't use CapCut. I film on my phone, airdrop to my Mac, and then my AI pipeline does the rest. So Claude Code edits my videos for me. It uses Whisper to transcribe it locally, Remotion to put overlays on, and builds my captions, everything. And then Blotato schedules it straight to all of my channels: YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, all of it. No timeline dragging, no manual anything. And this is the exact system I've been using, and I'm gonna walk you through every single piece of it now so you can do it too. Let's get into it. So here's the full pipeline, and it's just 5 pieces working together. So what happens is, first I capture the video. For most of my content, that's just on my phone. Film it in something called Tella, which I will drop the link to below for all of my screen share ones. And then I just add it to my Mac or download it from Tella. Either way, the file lands on my machine and the pipeline picks it up. Then what happens is Whisper runs locally and transcribes the whole video. No API costs, no cloud, no uploading to anywhere else. And it gives me 2 things. It gives me word level captions and a full timed transcript, which I'll show you how we use that later on. And third, Claude Code reads that transcript and decides where every text overlay, label, CTA should go, and based on what I'm actually saying. So it's not me manually fiddling with this stuff. It then writes the code in Remotion. So all of this is just code. And if you don't know what Remotion is, it's basically just code that sits on top of your videos. So these are all video cards that are just coded. And 5th part of my content pipeline is Blotato, which I am obsessed with. This schedules my finished video across all of my channels. 1 command and it's all just set to publish in Claude Code. So the whole thing is automated, and once you set this up, you can just film a video and airdrop it, and the system does the rest. So let's get into building this, and I'll show you every piece of this system. So let's start with the easiest piece, getting your video into the pipeline. So you can see all of these videos here. I just film on my phone and airdrop it to my Mac, and the file lands here in my downloads. That's it. That's the capture step. So no special apps, no webhooks, no cloud upload. I just film straight into downloads. If I'm recording on my screen for a live demo, I will use Tella. Again, link that below. Same result, file on my machine. Next up is Remotion. You can just grab this link. It's just github.com remotion/dev. And so we will just grab the link down here to install it. And you basically just follow the instructions here. So you just grab this piece of code and then you open your terminal. And then we just paste that code in here. And now if you don't have Claude Code set up, I do have a full video on that. So go watch that and then come back to this. And then we're just gonna hit enter. I've already got this installed, so it might just do an update. We'll see how it goes. Once it's installed, it's just gonna ask you here to choose a template. We're just going to leave this for now and actually open it in Cursor. So once that's done, open up Claude Code in Cursor, and you wanna create a project folder where your Remotion compositions will live. So that's where all of your video edits will live. So think of the composition like a recipe for your video, and Claude's the chef who's gonna like put it all together for you. And the other thing you wanna get is Remotion Studio. So this is where you will be able to view like this. And this is just in your local host. So it's just your browser on your computer viewing it locally. And so then you get to see all of these different composition cards here. And now, before we get into editing our video, we also need to set up something called Whisper. So this is the piece, I guess, that makes everything else work. So Whisper runs locally on my machine, and it does 2 things. So it generates those word level captions, so it gets that context from what I'm speaking about. And it also produces a full time-stamped transcript, so Claude knows whatever trigger word I'm saying, and this just runs locally on your computer and the output stays on your machine. So you would just say, Hey Claude, I want to be able to transcribe my videos locally using Whisper from OpenAI. Can you install that for me, please? And mine is going to say it's already installed. So it's saying already installed, no action needed. But for you, for the first time, it will run you through that install process. All right, so now Whisper is set up to transcribe our videos. Okay, so we've installed Remotion, we've got Whisper, we've got our video, and now we want to create those text overlays. So I'm just going to attach this here for the ease of this, but you could just point it to your downloads. Like normally mine sit here and I'm just like, the most recent downloads are my videos that need editing. Hey Claude, can you grab this video from my downloads? It's in my videos folder, and I want you to use Whisper to transcribe this. And then using Remotion, we want a visual hook, and we also want a call to action with the trigger word. So I will give you examples of what I want the text to look like. And so what I'm going to do too is actually grab examples. So this is key to when you're working with Remotion. So if I go TikTok text overlay and then go to images, we basically want to show Claude Code the type of thing that we want it to code for us. So let's pick one here. So I actually really like this for something different. So let's do that. And so I will attach that screenshot and just say the example of the text style that I want is attached. So that will have a text hook which relates to the spoken hook, but it needs to be slightly different and scroll stopping. And then the CTA will be whatever I use as a trigger word. If there's no trigger word, just I want it to pop up and say save and follow. And also this needs to be like in the top of the video. This is 9:16 ratio. If it is covering my head, then it needs to be down. So I need you to check that out. And also for each of these, they need to be components. So the text hook is a component and the CTA is a component. So that, what I'm doing there is basically telling Claude that it needs to create these as reusable components. These are all just components. So this is a title card. So this blue bit here is the hook. So this bit is the component, and this is like the sound, and that's the video there. So let's just see how Claude is going with this. So it's going to transcribe, and you'll get commands like this, and it's just saying like, hey, can I run this to go into your downloads? It's going to build these new components, bubble hook, and it's got pink stroke bubble text like the screenshot, and then a bubble CTA, keyword card, or save and follow. You could also get it to do your captions as well. I just get Blotato to put the like Instagram captions on for me. But if you wanted that kind of visual style, you could create that too. It just means your rendering of your videos is going to probably take longer. And so while that's cooking, I'll just show you some other things. So you can also create video explainers. So instead of it being an overlay, you could go into Claude and say like, hey, I want to do 15-second video explaining what Remotion is. And it will code all of this. And again, this is like for mobile. So I just tell it that. I say like, this is for mobile, and it creates it like this. If it was YouTube or something, it would be this way, which is 16:9. And these are all just components. So you can see as it switches, the new component is like shown here. And again, that's all just code. So jumping back in here, you can see Whisper has transcribed it, and it's detected the hook here. The tech pros are going to hate. And the cool thing about this too is once you get those components coded, you'll be able to call these in every time. This process becomes a lot faster because all it will do is change the word in. Now it's building that whole component. Next time it will transcribe it and just change the word out of that coding piece. And so again, just like good to know, here it's like there's no Google fonts with that bubble style. So it's going to go out and find a style that looks similar and install that for us. Now, while it does that, I'm going to show you the scheduling piece. So I use a tool called Blotato. So this is built by Sabrina Ramanov, and she has made this so easy to get all of your content out across your socials. You do need a paid subscription for this, but you just jump down here into settings and then go over to API. And then it literally walks you through how to set this up. So you can use this in Claude Desktop or Claude Cowork. Because we're using Remotion, we're going to set it up in the terminal. So you literally just copy this setup command, and then you just jump back into your terminal again, which you're all now familiar with because we've gotten comfy with this. And then we're just going to paste that here, and that's going to install it for you. That's all you have to do. Okay, so it's now said these components are done, and we can have a look at that in our local host. So I'll jump back in here and let's see how it's gone. Okay, so as a first pass, it's not bad. It's not exactly like the screenshot we gave it. Let's check out the other end. So as you can see, it's like, okay. So now we just want to go back into Claude and say, hey Claude, that's a good start, but the text is quite different to the screenshot. Also, can we have brighter, like could we have a deeper shadow or a bigger shadow of the pink to make the white pop? And it's going to recode that now and show us another example. So we'll let it do its thing. Okay, so this is the second version. And so you can see it's more bubbly here, but it still needs some work. So with this, you're going to go back and forth a few times to get these compositions right. But then once they're set and you're happy with, these are reusable. All right, so for the purpose of this, let's move on to getting the captions sorted now and then getting it published. So here, I'm just going to say, okay, Claude, that's great. Now can you create a caption for me that is in my style of writing based on the transcription? And so the really cool part of this is that it's using what you've said, so the context of the video, to write the caption. And because I've got all of my voice style set up, it is going to read through that to understand like what is my tone of voice and presenting back to me. Okay, so it's presented this here. So the tech pros are going to hate this. There's no right or wrong way to use AI. Drop starter below and then some hashtags. Okay, now we're going to push it out to Instagram via Blotato. So I'm going to say, can you please use your Blotato MCP now and push this out to Instagram? And so here you could have it, once you've got Blotato linked to all of your channels, which if you jump back in here and go to settings and then accounts, like it's super easy, you just log in. So once you've got all of those set up, you could get this published out to all of these places. Again, this isn't a video that I want republished, so we'll just push it out to Instagram for this. Can you schedule this for the 1st of June, 8 a.m. AWST time? And so what that is doing is we've got this video here, and now like it's basically an open editor, and then the rendering means that now we're like locking it down, we're happy with that, we're packaging it up, and then it's going to get sent over to Blotato for us. And so it'll render, compress the video, upload to Blotato via the MCP, and then schedule it for this date. And so as part of my process, I film these now on a Monday and basically go through this whole process of filming, getting Claude Code to transcribe them all, and then presents me the captions to approve. And then once I'm happy, it basically renders them all and then pushes them out for the week. And so I'll just talk you through what it's doing here too, because if you're not familiar with like cursor or the terminal, this kind of feels a bit scary, but I promise you it's not. So it has rendered the video. So remember, that's like our packaging. And then it is calling the Blotato MCP, and then it's just giving it a URL so that it can now exist on the internet. So it will exist in Blotato to then get pushed out to Instagram. So if we jump back into Blotato now and refresh this, so here it is, ready for the 1st of June. The tech bros are going to hate this, and here's my video here. I'm going to delete that because that's an old video. But you can see how easy this is. So the key is to film, get it sent to downloads or somewhere where you can point Claude Code. This could also be Google Drive, and then basically start the process. Now I'm going to show you how to build out that skill system to run this end to end. And it's actually heaps more simple than you would think, because we've already taken the time to set up Remotion. We've connected our Blotato MCP. Now we've just got to create skills so that this whole process is repeatable for next time. Now, I have already set mine up, so I'm just gonna run you through how to set this up yourself, but Claude might get a little bit cranky with me because I've already set this up. So I'm just gonna explain it, the purpose of what I'm doing here. Hey Claude, so I'm actually demoing this for a video for my audience. Can you please create a skills system for this so that next time we can run end to end? I know I actually have my content system in place, so just ignore that for the purpose of this example. So we want this to run end to end. So once I'm ready to run this content system, I basically want to say, hey, run content publish. And what I want you to do is create some skills that grab the downloads, transcribe them, and then create the Remotion overlays that we have created, present them to me in localhost to review. And then once I'm happy, I want you to write a caption and also present that to me for review. And then using your Blotato MCP, publish this out to all of my platforms. And because we have already done this workflow, it's gonna read through all of that context and get all of that. I probably didn't even need to say use your Blotato MCP because we've done that in the workflow already. But it's going to scaffold this out now for us, and it's going to ask us a few things about this workflow to make sure it's dialed in for next time. So what should the entry point be? So let's go shorts pipeline. Platforms, I'm going to select all here. If you have others, just type in others, and then the batch size. So do you want this to be one video at a time, or do you want this to be multiple? Let's say multiple. And location. So where should this skill live? So should this just live in your content project, or should Claude Code have access to this wherever it goes? Again, because I've already got this set up and I don't want it messing with mine, I'll just say inside this sandbox project. And so it's just asking me here to what are the approval gates? So I'll say, yeah, I want to approve the hook. I want to have a look at how it looks before you publish. I also want to review the caption and confirm the schedule. So at each of these points, it's going to ask me is this okay before it moves on. Now, if you want this whole scaffolding system and the whole full walkthrough, that is available in my Right Mode community, which is full of incredible women who are building with AI in a safe and supportive environment, which just takes away all of the tech and AI overwhelm. And I will link that in the description below. Okay, so it's gonna write these skills now. So it's going to create the skill folder structure, write the skill MD, which is the orchestrator, so it knows what skills it has available. And the reason I do this is if we create refined skills, it is much better than this giant skill that is trying to do everything at once. It's like a team member for each of these skills, rather than having one poor team member be absolutely overloaded and trying to do all the work of a full team. And so that will now cook, and we will be able to have a content engine that runs end to end. And so that's it. To any platforms that you want, no Premiere, no CapCut, no timeline, the whole pipeline: capture, transcribe, edit, and schedule. And here's why this matters, because once you have this pipeline, you stop editing videos one by one, and you start running this as a system, which is what has enabled me to scale all of my channels and therefore my business. And for women founders who are already doing all of the things, the content, the marketing, the sales, the operations, this is how you stop spending your evenings on video edits and start spending them on growth. This editing system scales, your time doesn't. So if you want the full setup, the Remotion install commands, the Whisper config, the Blotato setup, and this skills scaffolding system, I will drop the link to my amazing community below. And make sure you let me know in the comments if you found this video helpful, and I'll make more like this. And make sure you also like and subscribe so you don't miss out, and I will see you on the next video.